trying to wear my hair down here because I like it like this, but I want to get it cut. But anyways, I never wear it like that. I want to talk to you about something I'm kind of in the process of figuring out as I'm making my feature film, and I'm stuck. I am stuck. Real talk. I have a producer on board for my film that I brought on that's going to help me with the logistics of things, but him and I have decided that by July 1st, we are going to decide as a team whether or not we are going to film this summer, or we are going to push it off until next year. It is so confusing for me, and I'm trying to make the right decision based off of logistics, based off of emotional availability, and also endurance. And I kind of want to talk to you one-on-one about the pros and cons of each situation and why we're in this situation to begin with. So I'm first going to talk about the pros and the cons of us shooting as we plan this summer, and then I'm going to talk about why we might push in and the pros and cons of that. So the pros of shooting this summer is that we have momentum right now. We have a lot of momentum with building out our crew. We have a lot of momentum building out our crew. I just got my producer, and we are now in the exciting period. When you bring on a team or a producer, momentum is really important because you get really excited, and making a film takes so much energy that all the excitement you can have is really, really useful to help kind of push past all of the fatigue that will come, because it takes a really long time to make a film. You shoot it, and then the whole post thing is a whole beast in itself. It's like two different monsters. So the pros would be that we have momentum on our side. Another pro is that we have locations somewhat secure where I'm filming, where we can film in the place I'm staying at, and we also have some crew potentially locked in. So another pro is that it's a really close timeline. So like we can actually start solidifying things. If we choose to shoot in 2 months, we can actually start, reaching out to people, looking for availability, casting, all of that. We can start kind of moving into actually making our film real. Now let's get into some cons. So this is why we're doing this, like having this whole debate anyways. Cons. We only have 17.5K, and one of the cons is that it's a really tight budget. Right now, my producer has us scheduled out to do 8 days of shooting, which is, I think, able to do with him and the way that he structured it, but I think it'll be very tight days. He's really positive that we can film it in that time frame, but me, I've always been under the assumption that will take like 12 days to film our movie. So whether who's right or wrong, I trust him. I just think that it really tightens our days. It means that we have to do more scenes in one day. Another thing is that with the limitation of our budget right now, we are going to have to cut some things. We'll have to cut some pay for maybe some actors. We might have to double up on parts for crew, and we probably won't have like an art director. We will have to really minimize what we have, and that comes with some costs. That means that people won't be just solely focusing on one job. They might be multitasking, and that might mean that there's more delays, or that there are more problems that might occur. And yeah, so also another con for me, this is something that's really emotional. You can't really tell, but I'm working on my script, and another con is that it might feel like I have to push my script out before it's ready. Now, you're going to hear me in the next section say that a pro is that I get to work on my script, but that's also secretly another con. Writer to writer, artist to artist, I'm realizing more time doesn't mean that your story gets better. Okay, it doesn't. It just delays it. So yeah, let's now talk into why we might push. So we might push because I realized for pre-production, for getting this budget for this film, I'm so grateful. I did crowdfunding. I reached out to the whole community and we got 17.5K. That's amazing. But I did not go for grants. I did not go for sponsorships. And I'll talk about those things right now. And just so you know, crowdfunding, we didn't even hit our main goal. I was trying to hit 20K and we got 17.5, which was around 90% of our budget. Grants and sponsorships are things that I have never done before. And so a pro of pushing is that we can actually go for grants and sponsorships. What is a grant? What is a sponsorship? Let me tell you. A grant is something that is subsidized by a government or by a company or community to basically, it's usually, I think, as like a tax write-off for them, but they basically will give you a chunk of change in order to be associated with your film. And I was talking to some people, and for the grants for this film, I've talked to so many people about, why do you categorize this film as a queer film? You know, I'm not gonna name names, but I have people be like, Nick, you're limiting yourself to making this a gay film. Like, make films that are for the majority of people. Well, this is for one of those reasons. When you niche in your film, it allows for niched in grants to find you. For instance, labeling this film as a queer film, because it is one. It is a queer film. It's not just a gay film. It's a film about living and about human connection. It has queer undertones because, hot take, we're all a little queer on the inside. We're all a little different. We all have our specialties. We're all unique. And in this story, that lens happens to be through a intimacy between two men. But it doesn't make it a full gay movie, so you'll see. But we'll be looking for sending grants to queer organizations and such like that, LGBT organizations. And I don't know anything about grants, but I potentially know someone that does, and I can potentially bring them on to help me. And this is the whole thing that gets so stressful, is because I also have to organize how we do that. And there's a producer I can bring on monthly. If we push it a year, I can bring on monthly for like $200 or $300 to help me find these grants and potentially apply. If not, help me apply for them. So pros of doing the grants is that you can get a huge chunk of change. You can get like $5,000 to $20,000 in funding, and that will go a long way. That would help us gain more days for shooting. That would help, crew out successfully. And that's really exciting. Now, sponsorships are a company will likely, I think, attach itself to your film and give you perks. Maybe you can film with them, maybe product placement, and they will give you a chunk of change, right? I haven't done it for this film, and this film is so Portland orientated. It's so funny because I'm not from Portland, but the heart of this film is from Portland, and I feel it in my soul that that's what it is. And so creating a window where we can really connect the film with that community and allow that community to seep itself and nail itself into this film. I haven't done that window for this project yet. And pushing this project will allow us to go for that window and reach out to restaurants and communities and see if anyone else wants to help bolster and support this project. Sounds great, right? Let's get into the cons. So the cons of pushing is that we push a whole year. That is so much extended stamina. A lot of making a film is you're pushing up the friction of, is this film good enough? Are we ready? Are the logistics okay? And so many filmmakers get stuck because it's never okay. It's never perfect. And the secret is you have to push through it. It's never going to be okay. It's never going to be 100%. And so something that I'm worried about is that this endurance of us making this film is going to be really tested by us pushing it a year. I'm really nervous that I'm going to lose the confidence in the film. I'm afraid that I am going to, this is fear talking, this isn't real, but I'm afraid that, the project will fall apart. People it'll lose its magic and people won't want to be invested anymore in it. That is scared Nancy. Whoever Nancy is in my head, scared Nancy. That's what she would be saying. I don't know why it's a girl, but I guess it's a girl. Would basically be, momentum. We lose momentum. Another worst case scenario is we do all of this and we don't bring in any additional resources or money, and we still have the same budget and we just pushed it a year. I'm also nervous that I'm gonna have to reamp, all of this endurance again for next year. So that's where we're at. And I said a pro would be me working on the script again for if we push it. I will say it could help give me another beat where I take a few months off and then I revisit it, and I think I could really clean it up. Adding more budget will also maybe help us expand the script into the whole 90 minutes. Right now it's around 60, 70. So that's where I stand. I think off of impulse, after actually talking it out, I think I am leading more towards pushing this project. And I want to be real with you. There's a lot of things personally for me that I've put on hold because of this project. I've put on being in Boston. I've put on, doing other projects. And it's scary having to admit that maybe we need more time, and I don't want to put my life off anymore. And, someone said this, and this is how I'm really trying to live my life, is when you have a difficult decision, look at it as an opportunity to decide in that moment who you want to become. There isn't a right, there isn't a wrong. We will make it right regardless. But I'm realizing I want to become the type of person who can make a film and not run away from his life. And normally what I do is I rush through filmmaking because I'm like, let's just get this going and, life will happen after. Let's just zone in, because that's what's really fun. I love sort of disassociating from the real world, to be honest. But I'm realizing in this moment that maybe the person I really want to become is someone that can hold a film and not fully disassociate from his life. And maybe this is a beautiful opportunity for that. I also think if my 70-year-old self was looking down at me at this moment, was like, okay, Nick, this is how you should make this decision, he would say, how can you learn the most out of this situation? Screw the outcomes of if it's a beautiful thing or if it's the timing is right. What is something you can learn? And I can learn about grants and sponsorships. I've never done that before. And I think that could be really great. And I don't want to rush this film, but I also really don't want to delay this film because I'm either A, insecure, or B, because I'm afraid it's not perfect yet. Because those two reasons are never good reasons to stop a film or delay it. But for the potential gain we can get, for resources, for maybe having more time with the script, for doing all those things, I think that could be an avenue to really help, a reason to really push this film. So I'm disappointed if we push it, but I'm also excited, and I don't know what to do. And maybe I do. I think I need to push this film. But I'm going to sleep on it a few days because, to be honest, if we can't even apply for grants or do the sponsorship, we might just want to shoot it right now. So I think I need to look at this as this is a great opportunity to learn how to do new things. And what does it look like to not rush a project and instead go to the own beat of its own drum? And I meant to learn that, and maybe by the outcome of this, I'll realize if that was a good, smart decision or if it wasn't. So that's what I'm doing. Do we shoot this summer or do we push it a year? Let me know your comments down below. Let me know your thoughts, and subscribe if you haven't already. Press the likes button and press that bell notification. You'll be notified when I do all new posts and stuff. And if you want to support me as a filmmaker, join Patreon. It's free, and you can put your email in there and I'll do an email blast to you when we get big updates. I'm thinking about doing a Substack too. Let me know if we want to do that. But Patreon's the best place because regardless, I'm not going to spam you a lot. But next time if I do my film updates or when we do crowdfunding or moments where people can actually make an impact, I will source those emails and I'll email you. There's also an option there that you can actually donate monthly if you want to just support the film. But yeah, let me know. And yeah, so this is where I'm at. Gosh.